Thursday, June the 23rd, 2022. Second of 2 strike days by the RMT this week, which forces me to do a local walk. So I'm doing a North Herts Ramblers walk, 353 I believe it is, a Widford Circular here in Hertfordshire, not Essex. There's also a Widford in Essex. But starting out here from St John the Baptist Church, Widford, and it's a pretty late start. It's an hour's drive from me, but nonetheless, thus far, fingers crossed, the weather forecasters have been wrong. Surprise, surprise, but I could get caught yet looking at those clouds. Thunderstorms are predicted today, so I'm taking a bit of a gamble. Looked at the Met Office forecast, and we're not due to get any rain here until about 6. So I should just about be able to get away with it. Let's see. Fingers crossed. About 11 miles to do today. It is very balmy. That much is true. About 23, 24 degrees. But the weather is very still. Hardly any wind, so the calm before the storm, hopefully. That's why I didn't defer this to tomorrow, because the wind is going to be a lot stronger. Would have interfered with commentary. So let's press on. Not sure where I'm having my lunch today, because there's no other church on the route other than this one at the start, unfortunately. So I'll have to grab what I can find. It is actually E-Walk 359, not 353. So it's a relatively recent one on their website. Very nice seat there for lunch as well, had it been appropriate. Herd of cattle down there, that's a good start, isn't it? Early doors. But we are walking alongside the River Ash, so water meadowland. Cracking vista here from the back of the church. Cattle aside. And there's some herd as well. Looking back whence I've come, having circumnavigated the cattle. And as I walk alongside the River Ash here, just 3 or 4 minutes into the walk, it started spitting. So, doesn't bode well, but let's keep fingers crossed. And now, as you may be able to hear, it's a deluge. So, not a good start at all. As it's quite a late start, I might make this my lunchtime stop under this tree cover. Then at least I'm not losing too much time. So, 15-minute interlude there. Half of my lunch gone, but saved half for later. We're now on an old dismantled railway line, I do believe. No, we're not. That's a bit further to my left, and we utilise that later. Nice aroma on the ground now, where that little bit of rain's come down. Nice use of technology there. See, that's appropriate. Not a great big solar park. That's heating up the chicken sheds. Now back on our trusty old friend, the Hertfordshire Way, entering Mill Wood, which is useful in this damp environment. So at this juncture, stick left or verge left with the Hertfordshire Way. J over there somewhere. Obviously now we've got past Midsummer's Day, or the longest day, the start of summer, whichever way you want to view it. For me it's always the end of my favourite season and the start of the slow descent into the death colours of autumn. But bird song certainly drops off now. But having said that, there's a blackbird merrily singing in the background, but it will slowly depreciate. Small lake stroke large pond through there on my left. Absolutely fantastic aroma in here at the moment, where the leaves have absorbed the water. Beautiful chi, very good for the lungs. And with the so-called polio knocking around, you need all the assistance with your lung power as you can get. What a carry-on, eh? There you go, confirmation we're in Millwood. Conservation work. Well done, lads and lassies. See if I come across another bench like that somewhere further on. That'll suffice today. Straight on, Hertfordshire way still. Passing along the edge of Side Hill Wood on the map now. So, since I made the last comment, I've heard robin, song thrush, blackbird, chiff chaff. So there still are a few birds knocking around. Blue tit there. But it's early days, they soon will fade. Confirmation here of where we're at. Damage to the bluebell area within the wood is a criminal offence. So there you go. Interesting bracket fungus there that I could smell before I see it. Sheep country again, thankfully. Just seen a large bird of prey, dark, flying at a very low level. Looked like a buzzard to me, but they tend not to fly low through woods, and I doubt very much it's a goshawk, so that will remain a mystery because I wasn't able to capture it. About 2-3 foot off the ground. Another bench, and not too far from it, absolutely outrageous, a mast deposited. Disgusting. The mindset of the person that's come out this far, because I'm quite away from humanity here, and deposited that, I just don't get it. So, still following the Hertfordshire way, do a left here on this lane. So quite a busy junction here, but we leave the Hertfordshire way here, I do believe, and follow the Maltin Lane direction. So that's half left really, towards the villages. Now approaching Haddam Cross, which is just south of Much Haddam, one of the Haddams that I walked through not so long ago, well, in fact last year at some point. Stanstead Airport's not too far distant, but thankfully today, not too much jet noise. It's kind of muted in the background, as you may be able to hear. Voila. Passing the old Crown, Much Haddam, no longer a pub. Well, I don't think it is. Garden's a bit questionable though. Check that if you're interested. So a little path is shown on the map, but it's not public, as you can see there. So it's a bit more lane walking here. So hidden in the hedge here, now following footpath 11, up steps there. And it looks like someone's trying to get this diverted. So beware, ramblers. Hope you're on this case. Footpath 11. Passing a nice field of oats here. And as you can hear in the distance, a whitethroat singing. Now on restricted byway 48 towards Cox Lane. Passing Blackcroft Farm here. Passing Brand's Farm. With a lovely song thrush there for accompaniment. Just beyond Brand's Farm and about 4 mile in now, and the jet noise is starting to become more noticeable because we're definitely on a flight path where they're banking for Stanstead. Yellowhammer warning note there, somewhere in that edge. Countryside's opening up a bit more now. Wonderful the way this meadow's been left. That's probably why the yellowhammer's not far off. You can maybe be able to hear that jet in the background now, right above me. Looks like we're on the Chaldean estate. Never heard of it, but there you go. Fairly decent walking underfoot at the moment. So as shown by the marker post, the bridleway should go off at a variant of left here, but it doesn't. So I think we follow this track for a little bit more, then do a left. Wonder what this old building used to be used for. I might stop for lunch shortly. It's 3 o'clock. Well, what's left of my lunch? Make use of that log pile over there, perhaps. Yeah, strange. Yeah, I'll stop here for lunch and make use of these logs. Nice and tranquil. Corn bunting somewhere in the background, I think. No, it's the yellowhammer. We are surrounded by wheat now, but that is the yellowhammer. Okay, 25 to 4. Second part of lunch has been had, and I've still got 6.5 miles to walk. So, need to get my skates on. It's going to be a late finish today for sure. Very balmy. Had a few more spots of rain as well. Was almost contemplating going in that shed over there, but didn't need to in the end. So let's press on. Now that field of barley, amazingly, looks almost ready to cut. And indeed, someone I know in the business was indicating that they will be cutting within the next week up in Cambridgeshire. Amazing, eh? We're at that time of year again. By contrast, this wheat has got a long way to go. Technology again, eh? Do a left here as indicated through the barley fields. And now, as you may be able to hear, plenty of skylarks. Around 319 foot where I'm stood at the moment, and that's the high point of today's walk. So a bit down on what I've been doing recently, but nonetheless equally draining because of the humidity. Low point today, 142 foot, which is a lot higher than it was recently as well, seeing as we were at the coast. The good thing about today's walk, and a lot of this part of Hertfordshire, is that you don't see any signs of civilization for some distance, which is unusual considering we're, what, 20 mile from London, M25. You hear it through the jets, but otherwise it's very pastoral and agricultural and wooded, this particular part of Hertfordshire. Classic bird of prey territory there, and I would suspect that's a buzzard. Can't tell from this distance. Can't see the fork in a tail, so I don't think it's a kite. They're not so prevalent over this part. So seeing as I've seen a few buzzards today, I'm going with a buzzard. Can't get any closer, it's maximum range. Yeah, that's a better view. And that may well have a fork in its tail. Certainly a reddy colour. Tail's long. Yeah, I'm intrigued. Lovely shot though. Yeah, I reckon that's a kite. So as you can see, GMT Trail and the Harcamlow Way both join the route I'm on now. I'm down near Great Barwick, which I passed through this morning getting here, and it has a ford that you have to traverse, which was quite interesting. Just as well it didn't rain yesterday, otherwise it'd have been pretty deep. Lovely wood over there on my right. Of the kind you get, as I say, quite a lot of round here. Wonderful tree tunnel here, as we're now walking alongside the River Rib down on my right, which is the one I drove over earlier, as opposed to the River Ash, which we followed outbound this morning, or this afternoon earlier. So just as the cow parsley's passed over and my favourite season has finished, it seems to coincide with Midsummer's Day. So around about the end of April till midsummer, or the longest day. So 2-month lifespan, coinciding with St Mark's Fly, named after St Mark's Day on April the 25th, I think it is. But the cow parsley may pass over, but the big brother's around, so I read. The giant hogweed has been stinging a few people and teaching them about the countryside. Got to be careful of that plant. Dogs as well. Sparrowhawk's breakfast, no doubt. Okay, just entered Sawtrees Wood, which probably describes all you need to know about this wood. We do a left here, as opposed to going straight on round the edge of the wood. The left takes us right into it. And as you can hear, wonderful blackbird and song thrushes competing with each other in here now. It's around about that time of day again, 4ish. Then leaving the woodland, wonderful mixed woodland, barley fields again. Just like Sting's song, this is Sea of Barley. Passing what was Sawtrees Farm, well, may still be, but there are some new properties there by the looks of it. Now on towards Baker's End, Cold Christmas, which I've visited previously. Quarter to 5. This is Burley Common per the map. And as you can hear, nothing but jet noise at the moment. The walking is currently dusty farm tracks between wheat fields. It's around 23 degrees at the moment, but humidity is only indicated as being at 54%, which I find hard to believe. Must be something wrong with me. Feels a lot worse than that. Old age, I guess. Just approaching Buckney Wood on the map there, and by all accounts there's a reservoir underneath either this wheat field, which is most probable. Wouldn't have thought it's under the woodland, but that's what that raised lump there's for. So again, I'd say it's under the field. Another one of Hertfordshire's aquifers. So the footpath actually runs along the edge of the wood, which is nice. Totally agree with that notice. Don't want the wildlife frightened. Another wonderful section of walking this. I've just seen a greater spotted woodpecker, but unable to get it on camera. So at this juncture, continue left. The old chiff chaff busy in the background. Another quiet byway aiming for Baker's End hamlet. Okay, straight on is Baker's End, and the GPX track does go that way, but then it turns right, and it utilises a track of some kind that isn't official. Whereas opposite this footbridge here and turning right by this finger post will take you to the same place officially and involve less road walking, because the other option is a longer road walk. So I think I'll take this version, the official one, and see how it pans out. Now, as you can see, once again, I've filmed this before, these seeds have been eaten, and earlier I saw grey squirrels running off into the woodland next to the fields, so they must have a taste for this, well, in this case barley. Is it barley? Yeah. And then they scurry off into the wood. Interesting. Wonderfully well maintained footbridge by Herts County Council, eh? I can't even report that on Pathwatch now. And the onward path isn't maintained either. Shocking. I think that's the finger post over there. Anyway, our onward journey straight on, thankfully. Yeah, as I suspected, the route I've just taken works out far better, because there's my onward journey 25 yards away, whereas had you gone the official or via the GPX track, the unofficial route, you'd have had a lot more lane walking. Pretty self-explanatory. Journey's end is near. Down Viper's Lane here. Interesting name. I haven't seen an adder for years. In fact, as I continue to say, I've never seen one. So there you have it. Shocking evidence of what I continue to say about Hertfordshire's rivers. Too many people in the county. The aquifers are draining all these rivers dry, and this is a massive example. Don't know what the river was, name-wise, but as you can clearly see, dead. Lovely river lost. And all because of the horrendous population in this county. Not even sure why they've put a footbridge across it. Shouldn't think there's ever any water in it, but I stand to be corrected by others that do this walk on a regular basis. Maybe they could also give me the name of the river as well, or what it used to be called. Another one of those bracket fungi, and it's on an oak tree. Interesting. Don't associate them with midsummer, do you? There's the skeletons of the cow parsley. Always a sad time for me, that. Widford Church back into view on my right. Okay, now turning right, aiming for those farm buildings, following Crackney Lane. Right, this is footpath 16, Upper Crackney Lane, that I've just come through, and it is pretty overgrown in places. Hasn't been tended to for a long time, I would suggest. Once again though, I can't report it on Pathwatch. Absolutely the kind of issue that needs reporting on a handheld. Little egret there. So we're very shortly going to join the old dismantled railway. I hope. So the first stile of the day, and we're back on the Hertfordshire Way here, and it's interesting because those cattle seem to have disappeared. That's the field I crossed earlier this morning, or this afternoon again, and there was cattle in it, but they don't seem to be there now. So I could have gone that way actually. Is that another kite or buzzard? It's mewing anyway. Again, I can't tell the tail. And as soon as I move it'll fly and then I might know. Well, it flew and it was a buzzard. So I wonder if the old railway line was up on that banked up section on my right. The fencing looks like ex-BR, whereas where I'm walking at the moment does not look much like an old railway line. So I reckon it's where these trees have grown in the interim. Bloody parakeets are up here now. Just heard one up there. They are hardy little things, aren't they? Yeah, there's an old rail bridge on my right. So that was where it was, exactly as I said. It's good to see that a line of, I think that's downy birch has been grown on my left. So in a few years' time, this will be an enclosed footpath. Okay, it's 6:15, 4¼ hours later, and 11.2 miles. And as you can see there's a footpath, which I didn't know was there. I was a bit concerned about getting back to the parking bays. But clearly there is a footpath on this side of the road, for those that need to know, to get to the parking bays near the church, which are 200 yards hence. So, decent walk, lots of variety to it. Nice mixture of woodland, field edge walking, byways, typical of this area, and on a day like today not too wet. We did get a 15-minute interruption at the very beginning, but no worries. Didn't make the ground any wetter, and in fact it needs soaking, to be honest with you. I'm stood here just at the end of the old railway line on the Hertfordshire Way. So yeah, that was, as I say, good walk. Cloudy throughout really. So thanks to the Ramblers for creating that walk. Highly recommended. So until the next time, take care.